Hi there. Welcome to the menu
And the wine list.
with Jeff Weissler.
Beverly McKenzie.
We first need to look at the menu because we're going to order a couple of appetizers and then pair a wine to go with each of our appetizers. One wine with two appetizers.
Can we do this?
We can do
Can we
it.
pair one wine with two appetizers?
We can do it.
Oh yeah, we can do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
So, let's break it down here. We've got, okay.
What's
So
on the...
I'm thinking I want something really classical, totally French.
Okay.
So we could do escargot, we could do the trois canards pâté.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Or soupe à l'oignon, so French onion soup. Or the trois canards, which I think I have a hankering for. And it looks, they describe it as a country pâté. So it has duck breast, liver, and confit.
Oh.
So all together, so it must be all done together in a tureen with stone ground mustard, caper. This is going to be fun to play with, to pick a wine with. That's my choice.
Okay.
Your turn.
My turn. So I'm looking at the appetizer menu, and it looks interesting. But I think to try, if you're going to have the pâté to go along with that,
Yeah, we need a dish that will potentially go with a similar wine.
I think the smoked red beet, and Humboldt Fog chèvre ravioli with balsamic sauce served aside a radish sprout salad is what I'm gonna order.
Right, so
that's where I'm
I
at.
hear they roast the beets, then smoke them, and then slice them thin, and so then there's this dollop of Humboldt Fog chèvre between the slices. So it's this kind of smoky, savory, but
I'm drifting
sweet all
to
at the
the
same
wine
time.
list.
So are we gonna go red or white to tie those two dishes
I
together?
think red.
It's got to be lighter red.
Lighter red.
And
Yeah.
So this is what normally I would with pâté. My usual instinct is to go Beaujolais village,
And
or
when
Gamay.
Exactly. I think you're onto something there.
And I think because of that instinct, because you want to almost sometimes you want to pair the heavier protein. I think that'll also go with the smokiness and the sweetness of the beets and the goat cheese.
I think so too. I think the Beaujolais aspect can work with goat cheese. It can work with the beets. It can work with the different flavors that are there. I think what you're having will be a fantastic
I might let you have some.
pairing.
Okay. So
I think she'll let me.
We know if you're lucky. So we know we love the Brick House Gamay, but I
Fabulous.
think the beauty of that wine is, but it needs to be decanted and really sit. And we're just having appetizers and then going out and playing, so that might not be for tonight. And we've got a Brouilly to choose from, a lighter village. We've got a Chenas, which is a little bit heavier, but Evening Land.
Evening Land is a great program. They have vineyards in the Willamette Valley in Oregon, but they also make wines from different places from around the world, including the Beaujolais region of France. And when I was lucky enough a few years ago to be in Paris.
Okay.
And the first bar we walked into, we ordered pâté, and on the wall were 7 or 8 different wines by the glass. They were all the different villages of Beaujolais.
Yay!
So Beaujolais and pâté is a really awesome pairing.
They're symbiotic.
I think this is what we're up to.
We're doing it.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Beaujolais village is where the grapes come from these series of villages in Beaujolais without defining any particular one. And it's also a very base, what's called appellation or AOC in French for French wine. So in Beaujolais, you can have base Beaujolais, and then you have Beaujolais village, and then you have all these independent villages. And when the wines are labeled according to those villages, Chenas, Fleury, Moulin-à-Vent are a few examples. What happens is they have particular characteristics that define them because the soils and the microclimates are unique to each one of those areas. Beaujolais village is a base appellation. Grapes come from a series of places, and is often a great value. When it comes from a really fantastic producer, it can be the find. Hey, Beverly.
Hey, the wine came. Awesome.
Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on in some
What's cluing me right now for a Beaujolais village level,
well, look
sometimes
at the color.
Can be a little lighter. Yeah, this has a really deep intensity, real jewel tone here.
Beautiful color.
It's cueing me to let me think, without even sticking my nose in the glass, of some great ripeness happened here, and good skin contact time without getting too herbaceous.
I agree.
Is that what it smells like?
It smells like a wonderful basket of fruits with a forest not too far away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That lush forest floor without being too loamy. Right. Tannin wise, what we got here? Because it's Gamay, it should be low. Is it dusty?
Yes.
Okay.
Un petit peu. There's a little bit. And yes, it has a dusty quality to it. So it's not As opposed to a hard edge, it's a softer edge on the tannin. And the tannin is the dryness that makes your teeth, lip, and gums all feel like they're stuck together.
This is great.
So, and that tannin works really well when it's paired with, that tannin will balance out when it's paired with food.
Another risk with Beaujolais sometimes, or people that, this myth that's out there, is that Beaujolais can be really thin and one-dimensional. And this particular wine I'm finding has an interesting fruit on the front palate. It's got great weight and lingering finish. And that, again, that just a little bit of tannin around the outside keeps it interplaying in my mouth. Yeah,
and that'll work great with fat. And we're going to run into some fat and protein. In this case, in the pate. I can see already where this will be fantastic with the pate. And fantastic in a different way with the goat cheese.
And the smoke, that smoke flavor from the beets.
So we get to discover here if different foods are going to work with the same wine.
I'm eager.
I'm excited. see what happens.
Oh my goodness.
Yum. Wow.
No, you can't have that. That's mine.
Did you see that?
All right, I'll share. But, okay, so look at this.
See what relationships are
It's all
like.
about. It's very forgiving.
A lot of compromise, very, very forgiving.
Wine and food should be the same way. So, so in addition to these arugula sprouts, or radish sprouts, right? We have these beet strands, like yarn strands, and there's a special little gadget that makes them, so that it just kind of complements. So
fantastic.
And those, I can't recall if those are smoked as well. We're going to find out.
This is such wonderful eye candy. This is such beautiful eye candy. We think of food or wine or anything, the first thing that we usually get when we see something is the visual.
Right.
And that's going to be, if we're seduced in by the visual like this is just absolutely fantastic, I'm already halfway there. I'm leaning into my plate.
Do we even, yeah, there's this really rich, in fact, there's what's called caul fat, which is nothing to be scared of. It's light and lacy, actually. It's really pretty to look at. And that's put inside the tureen first, and then they put all the tasty ingredients in this pate and close it up. So there's this thin layer of caul fat on the outside, which just kind of infuses in as it's baked.
Fantastic.
And that's what's going to go with the acidity in this beautiful Beaujolais.
Now, after you describe that, how am I supposed to try mine before yours?
You can do whatever you want. Here, okay, have some alone.
No, I'll do this while you do that. We'll see what happens here.
We'll play. We'll be tasting two different things with the wine, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Cheers. Wow.
So what I love about this, I'm talking with my mouth full, but people sometimes avoid pate because they see the word liver and they think iron and minerals and they think but this is very naturally sweet. It's rich because it also has a duck confit blended in there and the duck breast, which kind of expands the flavor on the palate. And by not having high mineral content and more of a sweet protein quality, it's going to go pair better with the Beaujolais.
This has the freshness of the beet, the earthiness of the beet, the smokiness that's in this dish, and this fresh vitality from the goat cheese with this beautiful, beautiful acidity. Smokiness, freshness, fruitiness, richness, really interesting. I think it's going to go great. Matter of fact, just to really get that flavor going, I'm going to have one more before I dig in.
And I'll discuss what happened to me with my pate and my wine. So what turned out is it brought the richness, fatness of the pate brought out the bright feminine acidity. I really made it more feminine, and I'm guessing that dish is going to make that seem bolder and not necessarily more masculine, but just seem to have put shoulders on it.
On the nose, absolutely.
Yeah.
It definitely makes it feel wider and broader on the nose immediately. That's one of the first things that comes up here.
And so palate-wise, we're going to check it out. And while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about caper berries, which I also have on my plate. Not everybody knows a caper berry, which is going to be fun with wine too, but everybody knows about capers, and they're these buds, and then they pick them and brine them. If you don't pick the bud and it comes to fruition, it's a caper berry. And I'm going to cut it open while you talk about that.
This dish made this wine rich, textured, full. The fruit flavors went to a big, rich, dark cherry quality. It really added a whole, as opposed to the lighter feminine quality we were talking about with the pate, this gave it a beautiful sense of richness. So really different directions from the same wine based on what we were eating and pairing with.
That's the beauty of one wine with two dishes. They can still play with each other.
As in a great relationship.
That's right.
So,
I'm eating my caper berry.
At your local restaurant, may you discover all the great all the really, really great relationships that live on a menu and a wine list near you. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, it makes sweet fruit with a tangy caper berry.